In this video today, I want to share with you the biggest thing that I believe it was that helped me quit my 9-to-5 job just 9 months ago and go full-time with my own business. This is the single thing that I believe was a key part in me doing up to $14,000 months, as you'll see on the screen, just a couple months into being full-time in my business. And this isn't a sales script. This isn't a marketing hack. This isn't even talking about what you are selling or how you're selling it or anything like that. But really, none of that matters if you don't have this one skill set, if you don't have this one attitude. This might be something that you struggle with as well, and it's something that's even preventing you from getting off of the bench and into the game, no matter what it is that you want to do. And this one single thing is taking action. In this video, I want to share with you a simple 3-step framework that will actually help you to take action, because somebody can tell you to go take action, but it doesn't mean you actually know how to do it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Number one, how to actually take action. What do you need to do? Number one here, it is decide. The word decide quite literally means to cut yourself off from any other decision or choice. This isn't something where it's like, I kind of want to do that. I maybe want to do it. I'll try it out. I kind of hate the word try. You're either going to do something or you're not going to do it. Pretty simple, but deciding is the number one step on taking action. A lot of people think that they need to figure out everything that needs to go on with what they want to do before they actually start doing it. But really, the number one step is just deciding, hey, I'm going to have success with this. Hey, I'm going to serve somebody. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to go full time doing what it is that I really want to do. Whatever the case may be, number one, first and foremost, you have to decide. And as we go through this, I'll kind of share the story of how the first client that I ever got was able to fully replace my 9-to-5 income. When somebody at this company first hit me up and asked me to edit some videos for them, I had to decide that I was going to plan and prepare and do the right things to be able to make them an offer and share with them what it is that I could do for them. Again, I knew I didn't need to have everything figured out, but I first and foremost had to decide that I am actually going to take them up on this, but also that I'm going to be in control of the conversation. I'm going to be the one who tells them what I can do for them, what it's going to cost, and let them make the decision from there. But I had to decide to say yes to this opportunity. I was creating content about content creation and business and marketing and these different things. And all the clients that I currently have and work with have come from creating content. And so that's a really big piece of it. But first, I had to decide I was actually going to do this, and I kind of had tunnel vision. That's why horses on races and these different things, they have the blinders, right, where they can only see straight ahead, and they know exactly what the end goal is, what they're going to do, and they're not worried about all the different things that are going on. That's how we need to be as well, is having blinders on. I'm not going to try and do all these different things. I'm going to just focus on, I'm going to decide on what it is that I want to do, and I'm going to run after it. And the biggest piece of that I talked about in the last video was that I'm actually going to become the person who can do the thing so I can have success with whatever it is that I want to have. I'm going to focus on becoming the person. But that all starts with the first initial decision, deciding to go after it, to say yes, to make somebody an offer, to start the business, whatever the case may be. So number one is decide, but number two is plan. And I want to make sure I kind of talk about this in the right way, because again, I don't want us to get confused. On the screen here, I'm actually going to go ahead and show this resource, this picture that my friend Cap developed. And this is what he calls the creator flywheel. Number one at the very top, as you can see here, it starts with clarity. But the big problem that a lot of people have when they want to create content or they want to start a business or do anything is that they start with clarity, but then they go backwards, as you can see here, to quality. And they try to plan everything out and have the highest quality thing. And they let gear and not having all their business stuff set up and all that type of stuff prevent them from even taking action and figuring anything out. So there's this good teeter-totter balance between being prepared and also not feeling like you need to be in some place that you need to get to even move forward, to create the first video, to make your first offer, to start whatever it is that you want to do. But for me, when I met with this client, I planned, I had a presentation that was outlined for them. I spent some time creating an offer and all of these different things on there. And so that was the number two part of actually taking action, was I decided I was going to do it, and I planned a little bit, but not so much so that it prevented me from ever doing it. Because as we get to number three 3 here, I want to show you this last part of it is to have a date. This was really helpful. Elon Musk talks about something called Parkinson's law. And basically what Parkinson's law is that any task that you have for yourself is going to take up the amount of time that you give yourself for it. So say you want to complete some kind of project in a week's time, 2 weeks time, a month's time, most likely whether you set a week or a month, that project is going to take the amount of time that you set out for it, which is why Elon Musk is notorious for having pretty crazy deadlines at SpaceX and Tesla and his different companies, because he knows that the work will just lengthen itself out to stretch and be the amount of time that they set deadlines on. And even if something should take 1 or 2 months, he'll set the deadline for a week or 4 days or something crazy. And even if they don't actually get it done within that amount of time that was way shortened down from what it probably should have been, they get a heck of a lot further than they would have if they had the normal time frame on it, the time frame that made sense, that they thought they could actually get the work done in. And so picking a date is super helpful. When I met with my very first client, we had a date on the calendar of when I was going to give my presentation to them, and I was putting things together last second and doing everything right before the time that we were going to meet. And I thought about rescheduling and hitting them up and being like, hey, let's just do this in a week from now or a couple days from now. But I'm so glad that I just stuck with it, that we just rock and rolled with the time that we had, because I was able to get everything done that I needed to. And just to make this very real for y'all, I want to share with you this and show you this on my Google Drive. I have a recording from the presentation when I met with this very first client. And again, this first client that I had was able to replace my income from my 9 to 5 and allow me to go full time in my business. And then just a couple months later, we end up hitting up to $14,000 months. That's not an every month type of thing. It is up and down. I'm learning a lot about consistency and client acquisition, and I'm learning and growing along with you as well, no matter where you're at. But it was super cool that we were able to hit a mark like that within the first couple months of our business. But in this Google Drive, I want you to see this right here on the bottom left corner. It literally says your logo here. I cannot explain to you how much sense it did not make for me to be figuring all this out and just tossing this offer out there and making this presentation, but I'm so glad that I did. And again, I feel like this is the biggest skill, the biggest thing that you can hone in on is actually taking action, figuring out what it is that you want, going after it, and just moving forward. Even if you feel like you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle and you don't have this full clear picture of exactly what it is. I think of life and business and a lot of things that we're on a journey for in life in general, like a foggy path. And we can't see exactly where it is in the distance that we want to go or where we want to get to all the time. We may have a plan, like we talked about, a plan and deciding and all those good things, but I feel like it's like this foggy path that as you take a step and take another step and take another step, the path starts to make its way, and you start to clear some room in some fog, and you start to see the next step and the next step. But when you're just standing there at the very beginning, it looks like you have no clue where you're going, what the path leads to, but you have to actually take those steps, hit the obstacles, focus again on becoming the person who can overcome that thing and continue on the path. It's very rarely ever this thing where we know exactly all the twists and turns and all the things that are going to happen and all the ways we need to develop ourselves. It just kind of happens as we take that step and we actually take action. But I want to explain this to y'all. I couldn't figure out stupidly enough how to get my logo on the screen, but I just said, forget it. I'm doing this anyways. I'm figuring it out. They said yes, it was fine, but I had no business bank account. I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have a logo or branding or any of those type of things. I just simply decided to take action, made a plan, and then put a date to it. And we went and did it, and it worked out. And this is just an encouragement to anybody that feels like you need to have all the different pieces figured out before you actually go make money or start your business or make an offer to somebody and all of that type of stuff. Let this be proof that you don't need all those things, but you do need to take action. And the biggest way that you actually do that is decide what it is that you want, decide that you are going to do the thing or go after the dream that you have, put some kind of plan in place. Again, it's a teeter-totter of not having to think that you need all the different things and get on that creator flywheel. You get to quality by first having clarity and then consistency and continuing to improve it so you can get to quality. So you're going to get better as you do the thing, but there is a level of planning that you need to have. I had to put the presentation together. I had to figure out what it was that I was going to offer this first client of mine and all of that different stuff. And then I simply had to put a date to it. And so if you will just decide, put a plan in place, and then have a date that you're going to accomplish this thing by, or focus on the inputs again instead of the outcomes. What are the things you are going to do that you can control to get closer to the outcome that you desire? I think all of those things are super, super helpful to take action. But again, it doesn't matter where you're at. I want this to just be something that hopefully encourages you and you can say, okay, awesome. I don't need to have all of the pieces figured out. I don't need to know exactly what I'm going to do and have the LLC and the business bank account and have everything in order and learn all the different things. You're going to learn simply by doing. So if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to decide, have a plan, and pick a date, and you need to take action on whatever it is that you want to do. And if you're hearing this and you're like, all right, Luke, I'm ready to go. I'm going to take action. I'm going to follow this 3-step framework of deciding, having a plan, and picking a date and going after the thing that I want. But you're starting to think, okay, what's the next step? How do I sell something? What do I even sell? How do I figure out all that stuff? How do I get somebody to not pay me just a little bit of money, but a good amount of money for my product or my service or my coaching or whatever it is? Well, lucky for you, the very first video I ever put out was an entire hour-long, in-depth video guide about how to get clients to not just pay you a little bit of money, but a lot of money. And in that video, we talk about offer creation. So right over here on the screen or link in the description, you can click that video and check that out so you can learn how to create offers and sell your offers to people and get them to pay you a good amount of money for them. So thanks so much for checking this out. I'll see y'all in the next one.